About 3 months ago, I bought this. This is the Kisona M600, also known as the Attack Shark X3. 2 months ago, I made a video saying that the Kisona M600 was the best budget king. And while for most people with medium to small hands that still stands true, it might not be the best fit for people with some big ass hands like me. Since my hands are relatively large, I was experiencing a lot of discomfort right here in between the middle finger, the ring finger, and pinky finger. The reason for this is because the M600 has an hourglass shape, where the ring finger sits inside of this middle waist area that is super skinny. The thing is, it feels even skinnier because the mouse kind of tapers inwards near the bottom, causing it to feel even skinnier. Now, since this is a middle hump mouse, and this weird shape back here tapers out like a normal mouse, but since it's a center hump, the pinky really doesn't have much of a place to go. If you had smaller hands, you could probably hold it like this, but since I'm a fingertip gripper who likes to hold the mouse further back, this got pretty uncomfortable pretty quickly. But the difference between these two is that this one is just slightly wider, it tapers in a lot less, and it's actually a rear hump mouse, giving you a little bit of room to hold the mouse. And since the sides are also flatter, your ring finger doesn't want to sit automatically anywhere. You can choose where you want to put it. Now, obviously, shape is mostly preference and completely subjective. If you've got small hands, this will not work for you. And if you like palm gripping, I mean, this mouse definitely isn't for you. Despite buying a version with an objectively worse sensor, the 3395 SE, which is just a 3365 that's been rebranded, the mouse feels much snappier due to the shape improvement and lack of discomfort. So in fact, pain is not gain, and you can see the improvement in my aim labs history. Now, this is entirely exclusive to me or anyone who's changing from a Kisona M600 to this, so don't expect any insane improvements. I have noticed that the sensor is slightly inaccurate sometimes, stuff that I did not notice with the Kisona M600, which has the normal 3395, but you're not going to notice it that much in game because you're not flicking to targets the size of 4 pixels. The 3395 SC on this mouse can go as low as 200 DPI and as high as 1500 DPI. The most people should stay around 800 to 3200 DPI, as that's the sweet spot. If I can recall properly, this mouse is rated for 60 IPS, which means you're not going to have any problems with spin out, unless if you're just an absolute minimum sensitivity user who is the Flash, I guess. But the build quality is pretty standard. There's nothing special here. There's no creaking or flexing in the top shell. In both the right and the left side of the mouse, if I absolutely squeeze it with all my lack of strength, I can feel some flexing, but it's not going to break on you, and you're never going to squeeze like this in game either. Though still, please don't chuck it against a wall, it's not invincible. There is, in fact, no coating on the SE model, meaning this is just plastic. If you have sweatier hands, I would recommend going for one of the other 3 models, being the normal R1, the R1 Pro, or the R1 Pro Max. I haven't experienced any double clicking, despite not using any debounce delay. The main clicks have actually some pre and post travel. It can feel kind of spongy at times. You can see here, that's all pre-travel, there's the click, and that's all post-travel. But since the clicks are so light, it's super spammable and easy. The side buttons, on the other hand, they are really mushy. I'm pressing here, that's not even a click yet. There's the click, and I can squeeze it in a lot further. And these clicks are slightly heavier than these, so it feels really spongy. The scroll wheel is also really light, but has pretty defined steps, though the problem with this is that the click, the mouse 3, is super heavy, meaning every single time you press it, there's a pretty big chance you accidentally scroll, which happens to me quite often because I do use mouse 3 very often. The switches themselves, again, as I said before, are pretty light and easy to click, so they don't feel as spongy if they were hard to click clicks. The battery life is my only problem with this. It is horrible. It lasts 35 hours compared to the 70 hours I was getting with this, 70 or 80, I don't remember. Now, 35 hours on its own sounds great. That's like 4 or 5 days of very heavy gaming. The problem is, the second your battery hits 30%, the mouse entirely just goes to shit. Everything performs a lot worse, input latency skyrockets, The accuracy goes to shit. It feels like you're using 125 hertz polling rate, and it just becomes unusable. And for a lot of people who game non-stop and aren't constantly checking to see what the battery percent is, this is going to be a little annoying. But ATK made up for this with a super light and flexible cable that is pretty much unnoticeable when gaming, and I would highly recommend using it. The skates are normal PTFE. This is what the bottom looks like. So the skates are relatively large. You can use pretty much any dot skate here. There is a nice little compartment here for the dongle. Comes out relatively easy. Shit, can go in relatively easy. It is a little finicky to put the lid back on, but once you do it, it's not hard. Now back to the skates. These are really good skates. Actually, saying they're really good is a bit of a lie. They're decent. I personally don't care about changing skates to like dot skates or whatever. I'll just use the basic ones. These are 100% PTFE, so you can use them. The center skate is actually completely flush with the mouse. I'm not sure why this is here. They could have just not added it and saved some money, but now my favorite part, the software. It's really light, really easy to run, and has absolutely nothing that's unnecessary. Spec-wise, it's worse than the Keystone M600, but obviously at the end of the day, shape is king, so always go for a mouse that's better for your grip type and hand size. If you do not know what mouse you want, you can go to the r/mouse review subreddit and ask over there. A lot of them will be happy to help, but some of them are starting to get annoyed with these kinds of posts. If you do decide to buy this, I would definitely recommend spending the extra like $3 to $5 on the non-SE version, so you can get a better coating, better battery, better sensor. Pretty sure it comes with better switches too. Now, here are the parts that I completely forgot to mention earlier in the review because I'm an idiot. The clicks don't have that much side-to-side play, but up and down they have some. The DPI button is located on the bottom, so if you're one of those absolute weirdos who like using the DPI button on the top to use it as like a sniper button to reduce your DPI when you're sniping, this mouse, alongside many others, won't be that great for you. This mouse has Bluetooth as an option. It goes up is 2.4 gigahertz, middle is off, and down is Bluetooth, and you can have this light permanently on in the software, but I wouldn't recommend it. It does hurt your battery life. And the clicks, you can click pretty much anywhere on the mouse. The click will register. Obviously here in the back, here in the corners, the clicks are super hard. Here in the back, it's actually pretty light. So if you're someone like me who grips the mouse a lot further back like I do, it's a great option. If you like gripping the mouse super far forwards, it's super light and you might even accidentally click.